Action.
What was your biggest failure? And when did it happen? Mine was on January 24th of this year. It was just another normal day. Coming home from school, taking a little drive in my car.
Woo!
Is that a Mercedes?
It was a Mercedes.
Oh god.
Then suddenly, I can still never recall to this day, but I lost focus. I stopped paying attention. My body suddenly lunged forward, my seatbelt sank to my chest, my airbag deployed in front of my face and recoiled my head back into my headrest. The smell of smoke filled my lungs. My palms were sweaty, my knees were weak, my arms were heavy. I hit the car in front of me. I totaled that car. That's when I realized I failed. I failed to be a safe driver. I failed to pay attention. I just experienced a major failure. Now, I just gave you an example of how I experienced failure. And I am 100% sure that you've all experienced failure in something, anything. That is why today, I'll be discussing how learning opportunities, also known as failure, impacts and teaches a person by going over the definition of failure, how it affects us, and how we learn from it. So first off, the question, what does it mean to fail? Well, before we ask that question, what is the definition of failure? The Oxford Dictionary defines failure as a lack of success in doing or achieving something. I'm sure you've all felt that. A lack of success in anything, in speaking, in writing, sometimes even something else. Now, why do we fail? What's the reason? There are multiple reasons why we can fail. Some of them being we're afraid to fail. Fear is one of the biggest reasons why people fail. It holds you back, and it just makes you think, I can't do this. Another reason is you're not persistent enough. You don't fully commit to what you want. And if it doesn't work out, you give up. Why? Because it's the easy way out. And you have no clear purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to remember, you can't go through life without a clear purpose. Because if you're going without a purpose, it means nothing. Now, when this whole thing happened to me, I just felt like a failure because I knew I could have done so much better. I was afraid. And at times, I felt like I didn't have that clear of a purpose. Now that I've told you what it means to fail, let's go over how it affects a person. Psychology today says that failure distorts a perception of your own abilities. So that means things could feel out of reach. You could second guess yourself. You could be so confident in one thing, and then if you fail at it one time, you feel like you can never do it again. When I experienced this, before it happened, I thought, I'm a good driver. Let me drive one-handed. Let me go 20 over the speed limit. But after this happened, I did not want to touch the wheel. I was scared. Every time I stepped into a car, every time my dad got a little too close to the car in front of us, my heart started beating a little too fast. It can also affect your memory. Personally, I found this. When I was trying to remember the events of what happened, I was a little too far ahead. I thought this happened in February, but then I looked again and I found an old doctor's note from when I went to the hospital. Apparently, it was in January. So that really messed up my perception of time and how I remembered it. And as I mentioned before, the events between before the crash and after the crash happened, I still have no memory of, because I can't remember exactly what had happened. It's all, every time I do, it's all just blurry, a fuzzy haze. And as far as I know, it's never come back to memory. Now that I told you about the definition of failure and how it affects a person, let me tell you what to do after it. Use it as a learning experience. Failure is not forever. It's not a one and done type of thing. There are chances for redemption.